Hey guys, it's nasty outside. Anyway, there's been a lot of award shows going on, and well, in the spirit of those, which I never watch, I figured I'd do a list, and it's a short one, of some of the best books I read in 2014, including the biggest disappointment of books I read in 2014. We'll start right off with the category that I just made up called Best Mass Market Paperback. That would go to Nick Carter's The Troop. I promise you, you read this, you will not forget it. This has so many twists and turns in it. It is hard to describe. I honestly can't even give you a synopsis of it without accidentally revealing spoilers. I could read you the back, but no. I just suggest you pick this thing up probably around Halloween. That'd be a good time for it. It's a very terrifying story going on in here. But yes, this is my favorite mass market paperback of 2014. Next, best nonfiction. I read a lot of nonfiction in 2014, and this was really hard to narrow down. I think I had about 23, I think I counted, 23 choices, and 3 stuck out big time, and I could not just narrow it to one. So, with much further ado, we'll get right into it. The first one would be Washed Away by Jeff Williams. This is about the Great Flood of 1913. One of actually the biggest flood, the biggest natural disaster that ever happened in the United States. It covered a huge portion of the United States, of course the Ohio River Valley, and for some reason it's been kind of forgotten about. So this would be my first pick of Best Nonfiction 2014. I do suggest give that a read, especially if you're in one of the affected areas. It's a little bit more pertinent. The next one is kind of still in the same Great Lakes region. It's called Firestorm at Peshtigo by Denise Guess and William Lutz. Okay, the same day that the Chicago fire took place, we had a huge, much bigger forest fire take place in Peshtigo, Wisconsin. And the accounts in this book will leave you wondering, could this be real? But yes, this fire was so hot it turned people into ashes immediately. It boiled people alive. They cannot do adequate body counts. They have mass graves in Wisconsin because of this fire. It centers around a lumber mill that in a lumber community up in Peshtigo, which is pretty close to where the Upper Peninsula of Michigan meets Wisconsin. But yeah, I would suggest this one as a good read. And I consider it one of the best nonfiction books I read in 2014. And finally, this one. Okay, this one's just brilliant. It's called Storm Kings, America's First Tornado Chasers by Lee Sandlin. I could not recommend this enough. It's amazing. You learn so much. The fact that the word tornado was almost a curse word, and that no one really knew what one was until very recently. Everyone thought it was a figment of the imagination. And the reason is North America, especially the plains, is where a majority of the world's tornadoes occur. So many immigrants and stuff like that had never seen one before in their native countries. They had no way to describe it and had no idea what it was. These powerful, powerful storms. So yeah, in this book you get to learn the history of people who went out and learned about these terrifying storms. The people who learned how to measure them, and we have the Fujita scale, and they enhanced the Fujita scale. So if you're into weather, and I do realize all three of these books kind of center around weather. Maybe that's why I had a difficulty trying to narrow it down, because I have a nerdy interest in weather. I do suggest this book as well. But yeah. Okay, now for the biggest disappointment. The book from 2014 that I read that just, when it came to the ending, I was like, what? And to be honest, there were several nominations for this one, except that the difference between this particular one and the rest is the time invested. That's why I still think my ultimate disappointment would be 1Q84. But this is a very close second, and it's by a pretty prominent author, so some people are going to disagree with me. But it would be Under the Dome by Stephen King. Yeah, I know this is the mass market paperback edition, but still, this story, when it came to the ending, was the biggest disappointment of 2014 for me. I was not pleased. So I'm not even going to give it away, but let's just leave it at the fact that I was not happy with the ending. Stephen King should have taken that so many other places, and he just kind of, I don't know, he dropped the ball big time with this one. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to the best book, best book I read in 2014. There's no way to describe it. This one's just an adrenaline rush from page 1 to the end. You'll be hard-pressed to try to set this thing down. It's called Bad Monkeys by Matt Ruff. This is intense. This will make you say, what the fuck did I just read? When you get to the last page. It is brilliant. It is quick. It is short. This thing, everything about this is just unique. I highly recommend Bad Monkeys. It was insanely clever. So yeah, those are my picks for the best of 2014, along with the biggest disappointment of 2014. Give me your thoughts in a comment, and check you guys out later. Bye.